Radio X.
You're listening to X-Posure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is Blossoms with If You Think This Is Real Life. It's the opening song to the brand new album, Foolish Loving Spaces, which has just come out, and I'm very pleased to say that I'm playing you the whole thing tonight with all 5 Blossoms to talk us through it track by track. But it seems actually not that long ago since we were last here for the last album, really. I mean, that was 2018.
Just under 2 years ago.
Yeah, which isn't long. I mean,
No.
I like this productive work rate. You know, just get on with it.
Like we mentioned, like we all live in Stockport still. And I think because we're all still there, and when you have like a little bit of time off, you sort of just end up gravitating to each other, and that is always sort of in the studio or in the rehearsal room. So I think it's not a forced thing, it's very natural.
And luckily the songs are still,
pouring in.
dropping on my lap. So as long as that's happening, then, we'll keep releasing them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We didn't go, right, we have to just keep on top of this and do it all. It just happened, really.
Yeah, so the songs kept dropping on your lap then, Tom.
Yeah.
And you thought, right, I should do something with these. I mean, did you have a different approach for this album? Because the team, as we know it, is the same in that it's the band. You've got James Skelly, you've got Rich.
Yeah. Well, the first song was written just before Cool Like You came out. So that's how long some of the songs, like My Swimming Brain, that was the first song I wrote, which was like January 2018. So I don't ever stop writing songs, for like a long period of time. So, I remember we made a demo for that and was kind of playing that whilst we were touring Cool Like You in the dressing room and being like, wow, we love this, we love this vibe. And I think when we did the second record, it wasn't as hectic as like, the touring of the first album. You do bigger shows and less of them. So you have more time to kind of, it was a bit like the old days where we got back in a room together and demoed the songs. I think that was the key to, how the album sounds, as well as all the influences and all that. But, just off the, as a band, we got to go back in a rehearsal room and I'd like write the songs at home. Then it wasn't like right straight into the studio with James and Rich. It was like, it went to our rehearsal room and we came up with all the parts and, refined it a bit more and like got the slide guitar out, like put gospel singers on it and stuff like that. So I think having the extra time and like no pressure of, we need an album, because no one was saying that. Yeah. I was just writing it and we had more time. So the demoing process became much more, we got more involved with it than we ever have done.
Yeah, it's kind of self-produced in a way.
Yeah, which is really interesting. So, I mean, the rehearsal space is a new space, I'm assuming. It's not a scaffolding yard in Stockport.
No, unfortunately not.
And you're not still writing songs in your mum and dad's conservatory, or are you?
Back room. My Swimming Brain was wrote in my mum and dad's back room because I was still living there then. So I'd say maybe like 3/4 of the album is written in my new place.
I was going to say, didn't you go back to your mum and dad's to start writing? Like you'd sort of moved out.
I'd kind of moved out, but I hadn't officially moved out. I'd stay at my girlfriend's house.
That awkward moment in the relationship.
Then, when she'd go to work, I'd just go back to my mum and dad's house, when we were off.
Right.
So it wasn't like I'd moved all my clothes over or anything like that. So I didn't have a room or my guitar or any instruments there. I didn't even have a toothbrush. Just used to use her toothbrush.
That's the
that's
the mark of authority when your toothbrush moves in, isn't it?
I'd basically moved out, but I hadn't. So I used to go home to write songs, and then eventually, some of the album was written at home still. Well, my mum and dad's home. Then when I'd eventually properly moved into a girlfriend's, it was kind of like the first thing on the list. Boring thing. She had an extension, and we had an extension, and the house was a bit like all over the place. So the first thing after that summer where it was a bit crazy, I was like, right, I need a room. Basically, we need to get a room where I can we got a piano in there, we got like my guitar, a few synths, and it was kind of like I had a hub then. And then I suppose that inspired a load of new songs. And If You Think This Was Real Life was written there, and The Keeper, and Oh No, Think of Me. Like most of the album, I would say, was written in there.
So all in your new room, in your new place.
The new back room.
The new back room.
Yeah.
And the new home. And then the rehearsal studio, when you would take the songs to the band, where's that now?
When Tom was doing all this, like the writing things, obviously I don't write songs. So it's like everyone has like little dedicated jobs. So I was like, right, we moved into this new rehearsal room about
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just like Cool Like You sort of time. And then we were like, we need a new place because we outgrown the scaffolding yard. Then we've all of a sudden outgrown this one. So I was like, right, I need to have a look at somewhere. So when Tom was doing this, I was like viewing warehouses and various mad properties around Stockport to see if we could move into one, and found a warehouse. So that was sort of in the process when Tom was doing that, but we still
So the demos weren't done there. We've only
no.
just got that place, and that's that'll be more album 4 when we're
right,
we've got another rehearsal room for that. But this one, where we did the demos for this record, was done in the second rehearsal room, which is like, it was, in Stockport still, and kind of,
it was right underneath the viaduct.
Right.
So like the big viaduct in Stockport, it's underneath there. It's very, very Stockport. It's just a bit like,
if you want a burger, you couldn't get any more Stockport, could it really?
Yeah.
So that's like the interim rehearsal room.
Yeah. In between that.
Right.
Yeah.
A stopgap in a way.
Yeah.
And there's a guy like, there's a guy, what's he like, Graham, the fixers, like, what does he do?
Yeah, there's a number of different businesses.
Like characters that
Restores
come and go.
antique furniture, yeah.
He restores like antique furniture for like dodgy people, basically. And we'd like, we'd come in and be like doing demos, and you'd go out and you'd be, he'd just be like going, cause he'd like cut his hand on something. It's just a bit, like a quirky little place.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. Upstairs, like an airsoft place. It's just like a big empty sort of mill. And it's like a whole floor. And
It's been almost haunted, the mill, hasn't it?
Yeah. And you can just hear people like firing these guns at each other. They're just like airsoft
Referee hit.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
The best thing though is
they take it really seriously though.
When you hear Graham weathering tables with chains, you hear this like medieval chain like flail sound, and then just him screaming
to make him look old.
You see, it's like meant to be the most haunted mill. I don't think it is. I think it's just everyone's getting like mistaken from Graham just whipping chains around and screaming all the time.
This place sounds...
No, that's what I mean.
But we just go and lock ourselves in our room and do these demos. But
So if you think this is real life, demoed originally by you, Tom, on your own at your mum and dad's back room.
No, this one was...
Yes, in the new back room.
Yep.
And then taken to the band. So this was the second song you wrote for the new album. Is that right?
I don't think so. No, this was kind of a late... Well, it was 2019, early 2019.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly which one, the order of the writing.
Sure.
But it was like the middle. Because the thing was, I wrote so many songs, and we demoed like 25 songs.
Yeah.
So we were going to do like 3 small albums.
We have like a weird demoing system where Tom sort of demos it. Sometimes it's a demo like on GarageBand. Sometimes it's just a voice note. And then we sort of bring it in, and that's when we'll demo it as a band. Do you know what I mean? And then that goes to Jay and Rich, and then it's built there. But like your demos on the first demos are very much, a lot of the time, sort of very much fully formed.
Oh yeah, the song's there. It's like if we did an acoustic session now, that's what it would sound like.
That's what it sounds like, yeah. But even
anyway,
more on that, aren't they?
That song was one of the middle, was kind of like halfway through the right, but it was one of the earlier ones I wrote in the new back room, so that was kind of, I had like an added confidence of like, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to write there really, because I'd only ever wrote in one place. So once these songs started coming like, quite quickly, it kind of felt like it did on when I was writing for the first album, when it got like a run of like Honey Sweet, Almost a Kiss, Getaway, Charlemagne. It was like, so within 6 months all them tunes came, and this one was similar in a way. Like half the album came in early 2019.
Yeah. So it's just pouring out of you, and then you're able to share it with the band, and then work out an arrangement together of how you're all going to fit into this song, and then you send it to James and Rich, and then so did you worked them all through, or did you start recording piecemeal, one song at a time, or did you think, right, no, we're going to give us 2 weeks in Liverpool and get these done in one block?
The thing was, we did. James was still involved in the demoing process, and we still didn't know if we were going to go to Liverpool and do it, because James had suggested we should go with someone else on the third album, because we'd done the first 2 with him and Rich.
Yeah, after the second one we finished, he sort of was like, after the first one, I knew where to take. I knew where to take the second one. Then after the second one, he was like, I don't really have a clear vision of where to take you, so I think you should go with someone else. But like Tom said, when we started demoing, I think we sort of set our own path of where we should go. And then Jay was like,
it didn't sound like any of the other stuff really.
Yeah.
So, but we were still going to, we told we were going to Nashville and stuff, and then we weighed up, doing these like 3 small albums. Sorry, they were going to be called like Foolish, Loving and Spaces as like separate things. And then quite quickly it kind of seemed it would cost a load of money. You don't really know what you're going to get. And we also wanted a single out for the summer for the Stockport County gig. So we were always going to go and do that with Rich and James, just so we had something for that gig. And we did Your Girlfriend. Obviously, we had the slide guitar. We used loads of stuff from the demo, like the slide guitar. That's the same recording that we did in the rehearsal room. I think it was insect repellent can, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't have an actual bar for the lap steel. But we had like this Boots insect repellent can, and that was the only sort of cylindrical thing that was polished enough to use, and it sounds great.
Yeah. So yeah, so the fact we did that with James and it sounded fresh and so different, it was kind of like, right, we could do a full record here now.
Yeah, it's like that old chestnut. You don't try and fix something that isn't broken, kind of thing, you know.
And then we just kind of, and we were still going to do the 3 small albums with James. So we went in and we'd book like 1 week in June, then another week in July, then another 2 weeks in August. And we'd go in and do like 2 songs in a week. And then I think we did If You Think This Is Real Life. I can't remember what we did after that. And then by that point it was like, we might as well just do a full record. That was kind of the idea. So then we looked at like the 25 songs and the excess demos and just kind of cherry picked what fitted together.
Weird though, it wasn't like about them 25 songs. It wasn't like, oh, let's cherry pick the best ones. It was more because they're all really good. Or we thought so.
They're all in a bit of a different vibe.
Yeah,
a few darker ones which have kind of...
Yeah, it was more like which ones fit
together.
Yeah. Which other ones.
But this kind of suggests that these other songs will be
they'll be on the next
coming out at some point soon, you know, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We've already started a little bit.
We've already started the what will be the first single back, I think, which is
fantastic. There's no stopping you.
But yeah, so quite quickly, once we got in with James and Rich, it was kind of, let's do a full record. And I'm glad we did now because...
Yeah, 100%,
I think we just kind of got excited because we had so many songs. It was like, we could do something different. But then we kind of thought, let's do an album.
Yeah, but it seems to me that you're finessing the sound that you've been developing over the last couple of albums. You know, this idea, of using such strong melodies that you do. I remember even on the first album you were talking about ABBA as an inspiration, and it seems to me that you're honing that idea further and further with this record. You know, that it's how can we, as 5 guys who are kind of inspired by rock and yet love melody, put that together and turn it into something that can be played on every radio station across the world. Because it's very radio friendly music, I think.
Well, I think if I thought like that going into writing a song, I would never write a song again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's ingrained into me and the band, I think. Because I'm not, when I sit down to write a song, I don't go, this is going to be played on every, I think that would be quite overwhelming. So it's hard to kind of put into words. I think you just get better over time.
I think the only time we ever think about something like that is when we finish the first demo. Like, for example, when we did Girlfriend and we had a slide guitar, I was like, this won't get played on radio. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it seems so far, but we were like, you know what, we love it, and we will do, let's go for it. And I think it is that, like you said, like, I think if that was, say, the first album, we might have been a bit more reserved and been a bit like, oh, can we do this? But I think when you get to your third, you're a bit like, well, we want to do this and we believe in it, so we should put it out there. And it's like an added confidence of, not make it sound like we're like dead old band, you know what I mean? We've got everything, but after 3 albums in, you've sort of been it and done there, so it's nice to have that freedom creatively to sort of say, yeah, let's try that, let's put that on, and then obviously when it goes out, like you said, do you know what I mean, they get played on radio.
I think you naturally search, well, I do anyway, I'm always looking for something new to inspire me, so I'd never, even though like we always cite like ABBA and Oasis and stuff like that, I'd never sit down and listen to them to then now inspire me writing. I have to go somewhere completely new. So this record, it was like Talking Heads. I knew like once in a lifetime, but I'd never dug deeper, and then discovered like Burning Down the House and This Must Be the Place and all that, and that kind of just got my brain ticking a different way, and that off the back of that came like Your Girlfriend and Real Life. They were like heavily inspired by that.
Yeah, which are the first 2 songs on the album. So, I mean, in terms of the lyrics, when one of the striking things about Your Girlfriend and Real Life is this candid aspect to the lyric writing. It seems like, when we listen to the album as a whole, is there a narrative to it all, or is it just up and down? Because each song you seem to be going through a different kind of turmoil.
Yeah, it's come up quite a lot, this, but you didn't, like you've said it, haven't you? You didn't write it like that.
No.
But when you do listen to it, it definitely is some sort of like, I don't know if we've subconsciously made some sort of love album. Do you know what I mean? But it's always been I mean, just like a story of love album. Do you know what I mean? Because it does sort of go through all emotions of like a story. Like, it could easily, if we said, oh yeah, it's a concept album, people would be like, oh yeah, I can hear that.
We'd just go for it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the songs are personal, like experience about me, like The Keeper, Oh No, Thinking in Love, Falling for Someone, like Gravity. All them ones are kind of just from me, but like the first 2, Real Life and Girlfriend, they were me trying to get out of my comfort zone and just make something up. What's the different spin on like the traditional love song and stuff? Because I'm never going to be the person to write about politics and stuff like that. It's just not me. So trying to get into a different realm of what you're kind of good at is kind of what I was trying to do. And then I just thought, Girlfriend was just, I thought that's an interesting take on a love song, someone who's in love with a friend's girlfriend. Then I googled it, and a blog came up, and I just started reading what this guy had said. You know, he rents a place with a guy. He should be moving out, but he can't because they've just signed a lease. And I was just taking these ideas and just turned it into a song. Real life was similar, but I wrote that after Girlfriend, even though it's before it on the record. So that was just me making a story up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, these characters that you're creating are going through a confusing time.
You could make it into a Broadway musical eventually, I think. whole record, yeah.
I think so. It could be done.
Yeah, real life wasn't necessarily inspired by one thing in particular. I think I liked what I did on Girlfriend and just tried to do it again. And then like there's like lines where it says like, can you swear on this?
Not really.
Well, it says,
I can't condone that.
it says forget what the therapist said.
Yeah.
But no, I heard James say it in Laid about, you know, my therapist said not to see you no more. So like little things like that where you go, why do I like that in that song? You know, how things sound. So I was like, I want to get a line in like that, like really painting a picture of this kind of relationship rather than just like generalized statements of love. It was like a really specific, you know, bringing other characters into it, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was just different for me, when I did it.
Yeah. And then little details that really paint a picture, as does the music, because it's all these subtle different things that you've added, I think. You know, you talk about the slide guitar and it's there, but it's subtly used, just as the percussion. There are nice percussion flourishes on Real Life, and then there's that cowbell all the way through Your Girlfriend. But it's kind of low enough in the mix that you're aware of it and it's affecting you, but you're not kind of consciously thinking, what are they doing?
Do you know what? When we did it, and that was because we did like Tom did a demo before that. When that one came in, that was like, I remember Tom being like, "This is a bit weird. This one." Do you know what I mean? He was like, he was very much like, "This one's a bit different." Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was very much like a conversation we all had before, where it was like, we were really into it, but this does sound different to what we're doing. Like, this is the way we want to go down, man. You know what I mean? We should try this when we record it. And
Real Life has got a Subaru wheel on it. It's percussion.
Really?
Yeah, so you hear that kind of like ding, ding, ding kind of thing on the record in a delay.
Can you just do that again in case people missed it?
No, there's a rewind button.
Oh, okay.
That's if anyone is wondering what that is, it's a Subaru wheel, like alloy wheel being hit by Ian Skelly with a drumstick.
Yeah, it was Chris who owns Parr Street. It was his Subaru.
He had a spare wheel, yeah.
Just lying around and they started hitting it.
We just stuck
really
it on a chair and
just put it in there.
Hit it.
I think a lot
so indie.
Percussion and stuff came from listening to Talking Heads as well.
Yeah.
So obviously I'd say, this is inspired by listening to Talking Heads. What did they do? And we had like the percussion and stuff in the room. We just never used it really.
Yeah.
So we just like get the bongos out, get like the shakers, get all these other things and just throw stuff at it. Then take it from there. Then we showed James, he was like, "It's boss, love it." So it was like, all right, well, it can stay there.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because we had the bongos from just lying around after a cover we did of David Bowie. And they were just sort of in the room.
We did,
Do you know what I mean? We didn't buy him to be like, these and get creative.
We had the bongos before that because we put the bongos on Real Life and we did that before the cover.
No, we didn't. We bought them bongos. I bought them on...
these bongos on the cover of Real Life and we did that before Let's Dance. So we must have had some.
But to be fair though, some of the like percussion parts from Let's Dance, I think, did inspire us with the production side of it.
So there was like the bongos are from the Lynn.
Yeah. No, on the demo they played. They come in at the end of Real Life.
I don't have any. Sorry, I know what it is. It's my uncle's African drum.
It's the African drum.
It's the African drum. My uncle gave me. Yeah. It wasn't bongos.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Sorry,
This is what it's like in the rehearsal room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just remember really specifically. I was like, I know it's on the Real Life demo.
It was my uncle's African drum that got left in the yard. It wasn't like we bought.
Yeah.
You know, you can imagine, or a lot of people might take it as we went out to like a music shop and went, let's get all these and let's have.
It was just lying about. They were lying about.
We
never used them before.
Yeah, the same with like the slide guitar. There's a lot of things like that.
I think the percussion on if you think this is Real Life, shares subconsciously anyway similarities between that and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. If you listen to percussion on that, the bottles and stuff like that. Yeah. It's very, very similar, and I think that's bled into us after listening to it. In every dressing room we've ever been in. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, just thought I'd add that.
Yeah, that's good, Charlie. The Keeper was a fairly early song.
No, the last song.
The last song. Everything you're telling me is clearly going in one ear. And I'm sorry about this.
Yeah, no, that was the last song written for the album.
But I mean, the kit, it's got these backing vocals, this gospel choir. Who were they?
That was one of the ones where Tom came in and it was like he very much knew exactly where to take it. Yeah, he was like, he was very strong. He was like, right, this is how it's going to be. I remember sitting behind the drums and Tom going, no, you're doing this. Do you know what I mean? He was like, one of the ones where it's like, sometimes, choose something later, I'll try something. It's like, yeah, that's good. Whereas this one, I was like, trying something, like, no, it's got to be this. It was very much like, I know exactly where I want this song to go. And you did, even with the singers, like, because we did it, and I think you were quite anxious, or not anxious, but you were wary that if we went into the studio with it, Jem, like, oh, it sounds great, you don't need any singers on it, or...
Yeah, so when I wrote... So I got the piano when I got this new back room as a, you know, an added thing, like a songwriting tool, basically, because I know new things will inspire me, and I've seen other, you know, songwriters say the same. So we got the piano in the back room, and then obviously like Real Life kind of came on the piano a bit. A few of the other songs did, and then The Keeper was like the last one just before the summer, where we'd already recorded Girlfriend, so it was like wasn't like we could have done the album without it, but it's turned out to be like one of the biggest tunes on it. And I just wrote it, just sat down. It's one of them ones where that piano part, which is the song, kind of just came all fully formed, like as if it just fell from the sky. So it reminded me of Scissor Sisters, weirdly. I remember playing it, being like, it's a bit like
Don't Feel It Dance.
Great tune.
Yeah.
So it had that vibe, and I was like, this is different, but I like it. And then I kind of just chased the song and just got the Keeper line because I had it. I knew I wanted to call it The Keeper, and then kind of just started doing all the kind of grandiose statements of like love, like. And I tried. It took me a while to do the lyrics because I knew specifically I wanted to do a thing where it was like just pouring stuff where obviously it says like, what's the opening line? I wander through these dreams you keep. So I say one thing and then it's like a reply. I was lost, but now I see. But I had to do on every single line, so it took ages to kind of, you know, get it the way it should be. Then when I took it to the lads and showed them, you know, we started doing the demo, but I was like, it needs gospel singers on the chorus. So just because that was it. It reminded me of Primal Scream, the piano. So I was kind of, obviously they use it on like Moving On Up and stuff. So it was just literally go, let's do that move on it. But I knew sometimes if, you know, we could have suggested it to James in the studio and they'd gone, nah, you don't want gospel singers. And you kind of, you know, because it might seem too weird. So we got them on the demo, like, because it was like, I need to hear
to prove it, didn't we?
You know, I proved this is what it should sound like.
Yeah.
And then I remember when we had demo, we were like, wow, sounds great.
So where did you record them?
Well, it was just in our
or is it
rehearsal room.
We re-recorded them, didn't we, in Parr Street? But we just recorded them. We got
two singers and then tracked them up to make it sound like a choir. Yeah, you know.
So are they from Stockport?
Yeah, from Manchester.
Right.
Yeah.
We're so Stockport, aren't we?
Yeah, no, well, I like the idea that you're going to keep everything close. Why go further?
I think it's because we like, when we do things like that, we like to work fast. And I think we're quite impatient with stuff like that. And when it was there, it was like, right, who can we get and who can we get?
We just sent a text to our managers who, you know, they work with Stone Roses, Paul Heaton, Cortinas. I was like, they'll know some sort of singers that we want. So then, messaged our manager Dave, and he was like, yeah, I know someone who works with Paul Heaton. So then they just came down and it sounded great, and we tracked it up, and weirdly enough, that we then, you know, sent it to James. He liked it, and then when we recorded the album, we realised, we could apply this kind of female gospel-y backing singing to like a lot of the other tracks. So then we put them on Real Life afterwards. So, you know, we never tied it up until The Keeper. We didn't know we were going to do that.
Wasn't really a theme to put it on the whole album, was it?
No, we worked backwards then with it. And well, which songs from the list would they work on? Not that one. Oh no, I Think I'm in Love, or Real Life. So again, that was another added flavour which made it just sound different.
Makes it sound secular, I think.
I was going to say that was Jay's idea.
I was reading about this the other day. It's like a song that feels religious but is completely opposite.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But again, I mean, it's so subtly done. You can hear them; they're part of the song, they're part of the sound, but they're not overpowering.
No,
they're not becoming a signature, and you're not kind of signposting that you're using them and saying, "Hey, look, we've got gospel singing."
No, you always try and be, you know, less is more sometimes. Like The Keeper's the most heavily like tracked up gospel singing. Like some of the other ones are more just kind of
ooze
backing vocals more so, as opposed to like a real choir-y kind of sound. So yeah, once we did The Keeper, we was like, that's as far as it could probably push it. You know, all the other tracks we'll use them, but like you said, more subtly, which if it had been like The Keeper all the way through the record, it would probably be a bit like, too much.
It's a bit intense.
What's going on with Blossoms? And is it the same singers from the demo?
They came back in. The main girl, Yvonne, she did all of them, and then
kind of orchestrated everything, didn't she?
Yeah, and she brought in like other singers that she knew. So, you know, it's a good way to meet new people as well. You know, we met a load of great new people making the record who we would never have met before. Yeah. So
it was nice to use James's brother as well, Ian Skelly, of course, from the chorus.
Yeah. So he sings on there as well.
No, he is a good singer, I believe. Though.
Oh, he's great.
Ian's a great drummer, and when we were coming in to do percussion, Jay was like,
felt right.
should get Ian in. And sort of when Ian comes in and sort of sits there, he has sort of mad rhythms and mad things that he can just sort of channel in. So, but he's always been a part of the studio sessions, Ian. It's like
he's always like set the drums up and
tuning drums and stuff like that, because Jay's so, especially when it comes to drum sound, he knows exactly what he wants. But it's like they're talking a different language, and like, so it's like I'm there and he'd be like, oh, it doesn't sound this, and like he'll say some mad song from like the 80s, this like mad 80s film that you've never heard of, and he's like, it needs to be more like the snare on that, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Whereas Ian just like, yeah, okay, I get what you mean. Works, does it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like these mad references. Like only them two can work together on drum sounds, because they have these like crazy references. It's quite funny to sort of listen to. Yeah. But even the way like I remember Jay coming once and being like, oh, you need to hold the sticks like this. It sounds so much better. And it was the really strangest way of holding. Yeah, it's like really unnatural. Like really told him dead tight, which is obviously really wrong.
Poking like poking them.
It was so weird. But then you sort of go back in the control room and it sounds great. And it took Ian to come in and sort of go like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I really didn't understand what he was saying. And he's been a massive part in all the albums really, and the percussion especially in this album.
Yeah. Interesting. And so, I mean, it's interesting because I think in some ways with Blossoms, James Skelly gets to develop his production skills further, because his reputation, and with the choral especially, they're a big rock band. Well, that's how I think of them. And obviously there's all these different things that they do. But a lot of the bands that are linked to Skeleton Key and everything, a bit more rock. Yeah. And you're straddling taking this music somewhere else.
Well, he's a massive fan of like pop music throughout the history, like, he loves the Beach Boys. He loves like the Phil Spector Wall of Sound, and then he loves like cheesy 80s tunes as well. Like he loves across the board. So I think with us, he gets to kind of get all them influences in, but make it a bit more
great
kind of less reverb as the 80s stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you could go into a studio with someone and you cite them references, but you don't want. That's the thing. You don't want it to sound like that. You want a bit of that.
You want a hint,
but you kind of want it to still sound modern, which James is really good at.
Yeah. So from The Keeper to My Swimming Brain, which I think you said was the first song you wrote for you. I actually remembered something you said.
Yeah.
So this was originally written in your mum and dad's back room.
The old back room.
Yeah. And I love this. It starts really quietly, and then there's that whispered, right, here we go.
That was me joking in the control.
You hear that a lot, don't you, with different bands who do things like that? It's always like, oh, I just did it just before the take.
Yeah, then we listen back and we're like, let's keep that in.
It sounds good.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, that song came. This is where I sound like
one.
Like I've changed. But I was on holiday in New York.
I was vacating in New York.
I was in the Lower East Side. I was in New York just after Christmas. And there's a venue called the Mercury Lounge. And Look 2 was playing that night because we were staying on that road. There's a band called Ceramic Animal, who are from Philadelphia. No, you won't never have heard of them. But they've got these like really cool guitar sounds. So we checked them out. I was like, oh, this is mint. Like, this is different.
They're a great band.
And obviously when you do something like that, it kind of gets your own juices flowing. So I was watching them thinking, I'll have a bit of that sort of thing, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Spoke to him afterwards and talked about his guitar and like what they were like, and they were dead nice. And then listened to their like EP that they had out at the time for the rest of the holiday, came home and then wrote My Swimming Brain, which was kind of before Cool Like You had come out. So that kind of just got me in a different kind of place musically. And it was a lot of guitars. Obviously Cool Like You was a lot of synth. So that's probably why I liked it as well, because it was different to what we'd just been doing. And yeah, I remember coming home, writing it, and then, when we demoed it, we put the guitar's actually heavier on the demo, wasn't it? It was a bit more like Tame Impala.
Well, we wanted to figure out a way to kind of bend the guitar strings without bending the guitar strings. So we use a pedal.
Whammy.
Yeah, Digitech Whammy. So there's a setting on it where it moves the note down a second. So you can do like a full step move on the guitar and you just do it with your foot. So it's kind of you have to like disengage the brain from wanting to bend the strings, but to get this sound that sounds like it's bending, but it's not. It's like a really weird thing.
And we did that, and then we loved it. And
it was a totally different sound.
It's what we've done, and we put loads of different kind of harmonies on it, didn't we? And really tracked it up, like harmony wise.
Had that intro, the little intro where you played like the chords, and we put a mic at like the other end of the room.
That's still on the
record. We used that one from the demo on the record as the intro. So, which I think's pretty cool.
And there's quite like a heavy Fleetwood Mac vibe in terms of like the guitar sound, like the Dreams kind of
bendy solo,
bendy solo pedaling. It just sounded different to what we'd done before, and I'd say that's probably that song encapsulates all our influences in one song. Like if there was a song which kind of could mix all our favourite stuff together, that's the song, I'd say.
Yeah.
And all those harmonies, they just you.
That's just me and Chaz.
Yeah. So that's the two.
Oh, James Skelly sings.
James Skelly.
But on the demo, like we do it, and then
The backing singer's not on that.
Yeah,
no.
the backing singers are on.
Oh no,
that.
yeah,
We're thinking of the demo.
Well, the demo.
No,
Right.
we actually did get. Yeah, they sing just the line, "My swimming brain," which was kind of.
But the harmonies that feature in the verses is just like me, Tom, and James Skelly, really. Yeah.
That was after listening to like Big Star and like the song called 13, and they had like these kind of cool harmonies, and that's kind of where we got the idea from that on, just in the studio.
Yeah.
We played it the other night at Rough Trade, actually, for the first time. And
I stopped early.
Acoustic.
I came out the wrong bit.
Sound.
I think it's going to be a favourite on stage, that one. It's a really...
People, as fans as well, are already like, you can see the reaction online. Like, that's one that keeps coming up.
It's just one of them tracks that just flows. It's
that really
it's a joy
weird,
to
like
play.
wobbly synth saxophone solo thing in it as well.
Yeah, I think collectively that's one of our favourite tunes we've ever done.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a real total.
Good title.
And I like the title as well, My Swimming Brain.
Yeah.
I like the title more.
So did the title come first? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So you do that a lot.
I do that a lot, like collect song titles. So then when I go and sit down, start mumbling melodies, and then I get to my swimming brain. Then there's a song.
He makes it sound so easy.
He does. Yeah, he does.
It's quite frustrating, to be honest. I'll just sort of sit down and mumble a melody.
No, but then I actually tried to. I can't remember where I got it from. I think I actually did come up with that. Normally, I can pinch stuff from books and stuff. But I actually come up with that, and I thought it's a cool way of saying, your head's a bit all over the place. You're a bit unsure.
I know that feeling.
Bit in deep.
The Blossoms. I don't know why I stumbled into the Blossoms.
I feel like you styled it out in that way. I knew you didn't mean as like that's the band name. You know the band name.
Do you know what, John?
Thing we have,
you could make a Yellow Pages sound soothing.
So, I think with Sunday Was a Friend of Mine, we get into the kind of disco zone of this album.
Definitely.
Which is a good thing.
Charles' fault.
Yeah, it's all Charlie.
So, the bass sounds amazing on this track.
Thank you very much.
And on the following track too. It's like the bass gets a kind of showcase on these two songs in a way. You get to be really busy and everybody else gets to sit back a bit.
Charles loves to be busy. I've spent like 3 albums.
Still be busy, but
Charlie is busy.
Still be busy, but stand in the shadows. I'll keep it short and sweet. This is my...
Keep it me.
No, this is my homage or ode to Rod Stewart's Do You Think I'm Sexy? That was a direct influence.
Yeah, when we played the demo, when Charlie had done that on the verse, what did your dad say when you played in the tune?
So I played in the demo when I got home, and he was like, "You can't do that. You can't do that. It's a direct rip." Doesn't even talk like that.
But we did it.
Who plays bass on that? On Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Do you think I'm sexy? Street you in it, Josh?
yeah, busy time back in the day.
But yeah.
It's a great track, and the backing vocals on this, is that just
there's some of the back, the gospel-y kind of one.
Yeah, it's a nice combination. The way you balance it all, your vocals and the new singers, the extra singers. Are you going to get them on stage at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Not at every single gig because we ain't got that funds yet.
But that's going to be a real element of the life.
Yeah, definitely, which is exciting.
In London, it's going to be one of them, so you have to come down.
Right, is that one of the nights of the Forum?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a nice dynamic as well, because it's always primarily been a masculine stage. It's nice to have females on the stage as well. It just adds a different flavour.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely. You'd go, you've got the hair.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. A lot of us wear women's clothing.
Yeah.
Not shy of that at all.
So, it's just...
We'll be able to share wardrobes as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most excited about, to be honest. I'm excited what shirts they'll bring for me to wear.
I was listening to a lot of the Strokes as well when I wrote that song.
Right.
But you can hear it a bit on the guitar, and there's a harmonised guitar solo, which is a bit Strokesy. But, once we started demoing it,
did that for a laugh.
The disco thing kind of, punched through a bit more, which was good because it took it away from being just like the Strokes.
What I like about that song as well is that it was the last one we recorded, wasn't it? And it doesn't seem, it's like, sometimes when you get to the end, it can kind of be a bit like, we're nearly there, like, let's do it, like, just get in there. But it's like, the whole song sounds like it's not that, if you get me.
It's got good energy.
It's got good energy to it, yeah.
It doesn't feel like a last,
it's like, come on,
it feels
let's
like
get it done now.
It's like a fun tune, that one.
Well, it's my favourite, personally, to play and to listen to at the moment. because I'm going to say it always changes, doesn't it? 2 weeks I'll probably have a different one, but I really, really love that song. I think it's just got a proper groove. Like, I love the bass line. What did you say then?
That's fine.
But yeah, it's definitely my favourite, and I love playing it. I love playing it live, and I think when we played it for the first time in the room, actually I remember playing it for the first time on sound checking somewhere, not properly. Do you know, just like I'd start playing the drums and Charlie would start playing the bass. I remember getting really excited, like, oh God, I can't wait to play this song live, and having that feeling for about 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Till like the other day we first, like, finally got to play it live for the first time. It's really, I just think it's a great song.
That's exciting though in a band when you've got that ahead of you and you know that it's going to be coming, know that you're going to be able to bring that in and then have fun and really, I mean, I like the idea also that you just have songs that you really like playing and that you like playing, you know, that you look forward to it. That is what you like to do.
Yeah. When it like sort of glows a little bit for me on the set list, I'm like, oh God, can't wait for that one.
That's excellent. And Sunday Was a Friend of Mine. I mean, where are you taking us now?
It's a great title,
I had that song title for a while, really. That was kind of channeling into, you know, when you go through a breakup. And I used to really like Sundays, and there'd always be the day that you spent with your partner. Usually it was for us and me. But then, you know, when you break up, Sundays just become a bit like, oh, I hate Sundays now. You know, you're on your own, you overthink it, you're not as busy.
You make
so then I just thought Sunday Was a Friend of mine. Just thought it was a good song title. Yeah. And then just kind of was waiting to get it in the right song. And then the same thing as what I said about Swimming Brain. I was writing the song, had the melody. Sunday Was a Friend of Mine, just fits in. You know, got it in.
It's just like that again.
It makes it seem so easy.
You like Sundays now, though, don't you?
Sundays are alright. I never really loved Sundays, but I'd say they were a friend. We're friends again.
Friends.
Sunday is a friend of mine.
Does it?
So after Sunday Was a Friend of Mine, you follow that up, keeping the disco vibe with Oh No, I Think I'm in Love. So, I mean, the storyline of this whole album, you know, it's like up and down. Sunday Was a Friend of Mine, then, oh, wow, I think I'm in love. Somebody else is arrived.
Yeah, that's kind of it, yeah.
Right, it's that simple.
It's such a
Tom's Diary.
I could say it's such a Tom title as well. Like, oh,
another
no,
brackets tune.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I think
I'd had that title for a while since I felt that way. Yeah, kind of thought, oh, I think I'm in love. Kind of that's a good song title. Then the Oh No before it, and like you said, brackets. We had There's a Reason Why brackets. I never returned your calls. And that's like the reply to that, innit? I suppose now. Oh No, think I'm in love, and I just said it in a few interviews. I've always found it not harder, but I suppose harder to, you know, describe being in love as opposed, you know, being really direct with it, as opposed to, you know, like There's a Reason Why. That's like direct heartbreak, but kind of sounds, you know, credible or not cringy. Whereas, you know, just saying I think I'm in love or I'm in love is a bit, you know, not as kind of, it doesn't work as well for me. It doesn't sit as well with me. I have to put something in it, like, oh no, I think I'm in love, yeah.
Where if it was me, I'd be able to just say I love you. And it'd be a terrible album.
But I mean, this is going to be a big sing-along number, isn't it?
Well, it was the first time we played it in Rough Trade.
Yeah, even a strip
get the crowd to sing it at one point.
They sung, I think I'm in love.
Well, it's anthemic,
It's one of them. It's
and that was the first time you'd ever played it.
It's been our day.
It was an acoustic set. It wasn't even like us proper doing it or anything. So,
well, I could hear him. You know, we didn't have the in-ears. We just did it with like monitors this time, and I could hear them singing it when I was singing it on the chorus. I was like, and there's a bit in the tune where it breaks down at the end. So I was like, PS1, try it. So then I stopped, and he just all sang it. I was like, wow, it's like one day. But that was one of them when I kind of wrote it, and when we showed it, it was like that song is destined to be really sung catchy. Back at you, like really by like loads of people.
Yeah, I remember when we did demo it. I remember ever since after every single one of us sing it, and you'd always point out, you was like singing that again.
Yeah,
I think it was in my head trying to go to sleep for about 2 weeks in the demo. I couldn't stop getting those words out of my head.
And I think that I was listening to Loveful when I wrote it.
Right.
By, is it the Cardigans?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The piano, I wrote it on the piano, so it doesn't sound. The actual demo, well, my version of it was like, didn't really sound the way it did when we did it. I knew it was a great song, and I knew it was one of them. I kind of knew we could just paint it whichever way we wanted to. Basically, I just had the bones of a, you know, great song, and
that was like the sort of the opposite version to what The Keeper is. You know, like Tom sort of does a demo and comes in and goes, "This is what it sounds." Whereas that one's like, "This is what it is." What do you reckon? Do you know what I mean? Like sort of like more open to.
There's a tune that we kind of tried it like a bit at first with the kind of, was it Empire of the Sun?
Yeah, was it?
Walking on a Dream.
Walking on a Dream.
We tried it a bit like that, and then James, we said that was one that we went back into a lot with James Skelly in terms of trying different drum beats and stuff on it. He kind
Definitely
of
drum
it was
beat.
like a hot chip drum beat that we tried.
And then it was like the straight drum beat, but let's try these empty milk bottles.
Yeah. So that was the full on like don't stop till you get enough version. That was too far.
Yeah.
Right. Then we in the studio we went for like the straight. More ABBA. It ended up more like ABBA in a way. And then the bass line, I remember, that was one of the ones where we were kind of like,
let's double it up with a Moog.
Or just it was like you said,
as the Americans say.
Very like, like you said, disco. It's just like a mad bass line basically where we were kind of like, that's
another direct like rip, if you would. I've got my uncle to thank for this, John Fitz. He was an old like funky house DJ. He was living at my nana's at the time, and when I was at my nana's house, he'd play these like vinyl records, and one of them was a track called Running by Chris Brax, like a 12-inch kind of full-on disc funky house tune.
Is that where the
and that's where all the the octaves come from in that tune. Yeah, if you listen to that, it's pretty much a direct rip.
Well done, Chas.
Yeah. Alan Brax running that scene.
You're not hiding anything though.
No, I'm not afraid to say it.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But and that was one where lyrically, heart's firmly on the sleeve. There's no holding back with like the lyric. And I like I said, I can't find it harder to just like say it as just I'm in love or whatever. There's always, because it's not that simple, is it, when you are in love, I find. And I always liked God Only Knows, the way it opens up with I may not always love you. It's dark, but it's quite like
nice and happy.
He's a happy guy.
When you get with someone, you don't know that.
No, you're right. You are right.
You don't know that. So
it's the fear of it, isn't it? Really, when you first get with someone, you thought of like, you don't know, you don't want to dive into that deep end because you've been hurt before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The opening lyric line to that tune is "You and me were different as people." And that's like a weird opening line for like a huge kind of I love you song. You know what I mean? So I like stuff like that. But then you respond with it, you and me were different as people, always at one when it's needed. So it's kind of, I remember writing it being like, oh, I'm being honest, but it's quite like different, and I just liked the approach.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. And it's what is that instrument? Is it a synth, or is it a kazoo in the kind of instrumental breakdown, the middle eight, or
it's a DX7? It's DX7 layered with an acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because we kind of
that was off the demo as well.
When we wrote the solo, we thought we'd try layering it up, and we found this bizarre, like you say, kazoo sound on the DX7, and we could just distorted it, didn't we?
Yeah,
it sounded great.
I listened to it back with fresh ears like this week, and I was like, God, it sounds like ABBA, like that bit, because it's like an acoustic guitar solo.
We'd never done that before, because well, just sort of noodling around, weren't we? And then
you always do. If you do a solo, you do it on the electric, don't you? So
we tried it on the.
Came from like.
We just tried it.
You're playing that solo live, aren't you, Tom?
I've got to play it live. Yeah, I listened to it back from Rough Trade. It sounds good. That's the first test. See how the Ritz does.
I like when you played, you turned around and looked at me. It was like oh, I'll just do this.
Yeah. It's also the one bit I also really like is the drum fill. There's this just short little fill that sounds great. I think people should listen out for it as we play it. If they haven't heard it. That might be the bit.
Good. That was really fun this time in the studio, because there was a lot of time where Jay and Mitch would just be like, play the song back. I'd sort of play the drum beat just as it's bare bones, and then they sort of play it back and be like, right, just do whatever you want.
Didn't we call it the
beep
the
and
poo and giggles take?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just sort of went in there and was like, oh, let's do this, and yeah, it was good. A lot of them was so far, but half the time like not a chance that's going in. You know what I mean?
But this one stayed.
Yeah, this one managed to sneak in. But
good. And the backing singers are on this one as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a great effect. And where does Romance fit in?
Romance.
I mean, I must say, punctuation is brilliantly used on this.
Well, that song started. I think again, I had the song title. So I used, I applied the song title to the rest of the song as a wrap-up line. Once I'd wrote the song, I needed a bit to like finish off the chorus and romance. Fitted the song and fitted that bit. But I got that line from, I can't remember which book it was, but I remember reading online what Morrissey was listening to when he would pinch things basically. So it was like loads of obscure, like Sheila Delaney, who wrote Taste of Honey, and all them kind of kitchen sink plays basically. So usually you can get stuff online, to read, but you couldn't get any of them online. So I bought them on Amazon, and they turned up, started reading them, and Then like you get into like the third page and it's like the devil will find hands for idle whatever
hands to do.
Right.
The devil will find work for idle hands to do. So you're like, well, he's not holding back here.
So all these great turns of phrases that you thought, wow, Morrissey, no, he's so clever with his words.
Louder than bombs, you know, loads of stuff. So then I'm flicking through, obviously skipping them ones. You
couldn't have a song.
But then I stumbled across Romance. I was like, I like
you
that.
missed a trick there, Mozza.
Yeah, you missed that one. So then I just, you know, put it into my phone and just sat on it for a while and just thought it was a good song title. But then I also thought, once I put it into the tune and sung the line, I thought, is it too kind of, was the colloquial, is that the right word?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm saying, like you said, romance, that's what you're saying, but I'm saying like, romance, it's a bit like, does it make sense within the song?
It's very northern, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a northern phrase. Like, you can't have someone in like San Francisco going, romance, it doesn't really make, like, it don't make as much sense, but it sounded good, and I liked the fact it was that kind of northern thing. And
I look at people who don't really understand it, sort of go romance.
Romance.
It's like the Arctic Monkeys record. He put him sen in a tune.
Yeah.
That's
He's
the
got him sen a theme tune.
And everyone's singing it in Mexico now.
And what instrument is that at the beginning of the song doing the intro?
Is it 12 string?
It's a 12-string.
We wanted like the real we wanted it to be more like Blown Rose, didn't we? Like
12-string, 6-string
Yeah,
piano.
it's the Moog.
Oh, it's a Moog. It's like a pluck, one of the pluck sounds on the Moog.
Yeah, we've got there's this new sort of synth Moog one.
The Moog one,
It's like this big all singing, all dancing
spaceship
synth.
thing.
And
we like every time we do an album to buy a new synth, but we kind of have bought them all now.
We went too far.
So then we got this one, which was like a really expensive one. It was the only one left, so he's like, yeah, let's just do that. But it served
Great
as well.
pluck sounds.
yeah,
Really good
it's got
sounds,
so many sounds. It's like really, but that influenced a lot of the sounds, didn't it?
Yeah. But to be fair, on this one, we used the Vox Continental, didn't we?
Yeah,
the old Doors organ, because
Ray Manzarek-esque.
we turned up that day and Richard got it. It's not Rich.
No,
sorry, Jay got it off
yeah.
like a website, but it turned up and it wasn't working properly.
Sig burns all over the keys.
Proper old one, but he used that towards the end, which was good.
Yeah.
But the overall vibe, someone said to me it's got quite a Scouse vibe, that tune, because it is quite jangly and a bit like, you know,
Lars.
it's got that kind of vibe, and I understand what they mean, you know, when you listen to it. And yeah, I really like that song. It reminds me of the Bangles a bit.
Who are not from Scotland.
No.
But they sung about going back to Liverpool, didn't they? I think one of their songs. Anyway, but I digress. My Vacant Days is the next song, and this is completely different to everything else on the record, because there are no drums on this.
Nope.
And
Not makes it better for that.
it's just it's an acoustic guitar ballad, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, that was kind of... the weird thing about that one is we did the demo of it differently. So I wrote the song, and that one is about, you know, being back home from tour and kind of just, you know, not really knowing what to do to yourself and just doing the mundane stuff, you know, like looking over the window, times pass, people getting married, you know, call your mother, talk the weather, that's like one of the lyrics. And that's kind of being a bit unsure of, you know, your purpose when you're not really the guy in the band, if you know what I mean. So I just wrote a song about it, which is, you know, served as well in the end.
Great opening line as well. I'm a stranger in a place where
I'm alive. But I'm in too deep. So that's quite dark really as well. So that's kind of saying, you know, if I did want to get out now, I'm kind of in too far now. You know, how many people would I have to let down if I wanted to leave? But that's like a split second insane thought, which I got into a song, and then quite quickly afterwards, I don't really feel like that now. But it does, them kind of things do come into your head, you know, if you kind of, because you don't walk around like feeling dead confident in yourself all the time. Sometimes you heard Liam Frey talking about it a bit on the Cortinas as well, and it is like, it's not like, oh, it's a difficult thing to do, but there's such a difference between
in your life when you're doing a band and sort of
the alienation of coming back from touring to, you know.
Well, you live a completely different lifestyle to most people.
I think it's really hard to talk about, 'cause it always seems like you're being really negative about something that's so amazing, but it's also should be talked about, because there's a lot of people who do suffer from it, and it's very apparent, and you know what I mean, with things that have gone on through the years. And it is a very, very strange thing, and I think it's so hard to talk about, like I said before, because you just sort of come across as...
And I think you feel it. I feel it a lot as a songwriter as well, because you kind of, you know, what if the songs just did disappear? You know, we've talked about how good it is. You know, wrote so many songs and we've stayed prolific. But you know, if some weeks you don't write one, you kind of do start getting them thoughts of, I'm a stranger. In a play. You know, the line that you end up writing. But yeah, the rest of the tunes, it goes progressively gets better from that line, you know, and it's, you know, my imagination plays all in my vacant days, so it's kind of just like
playing on that.
Just
that's what I think
things going by.
So. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think when you get into your own head with that sort of thing, like Charlie mentioned before, like when you get home and you are sort of that time off thing, like you said, like, oh, you're very busy and you sort of do things. I think that is to sort of keep ourselves a bit sane. Do you know what I mean? In a life that is very, very strange.
But we have got each other to kind of...
I think that's the best thing about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that we all have each other and we all live still very close to each other, all live with our families still. And I think that's why one of the big decisions is like...
Near our, we don't live with our families.
Yeah, no, but near our families. But if you know what I mean, like moving down to London and stuff like that, I think for us, we'd be really alienated. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot of friends down here, but it's not...
It'd be a depressing album, that, wouldn't it, Tom?
Imagine me, we know, mate. But we actually demoed the song full band.
Yeah,
and it was like, there was a song, this will sound like, you know, King Gizzard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, not one of their more mad songs, that Sense tune.
Yeah, I showed it,
You sent it to me and I was like, I wrote Vacant Days, like the music to it, kind of around their vibe of that tune. And it's kind of a bit loungy, innit? And it's a bit like...
a cabaret, like, you know.
Really soft.
Just got like a kind of groove to it. And we did it like that with the full band, and it's all kind of like, you know, very kind of, you know, you're looking out, you're at a beach or something like that, wasn't it? I suppose that's the only way.
It's more in the same vein as like Swimming Brain, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit more like Swimming Brain, but toned down. And then when we showed James, again, when we said we were doing a full album, we kind of then needed to pick which songs we wanted. So we said, oh, could we have like a My Favourite Room moment where it is just me? So we showed him another song and he kind of was like, no, it doesn't really suit the vibe. So then I was like, we've got My Vacant Days, try that. Then obviously when you then strip it back and look at the lyrical content, it does lend itself to being, he said, James, like, I want it to sound like you just picked up the guitar and you are looking out your window, which is kind of what the song is. Yeah, so then it kind of works better. When you listen to like the one we did, it's too much really, isn't it?
That's going back to sort of Jay's relationship with us. I think he really sort of like saw himself in that song as well. Do you know what I mean? I think obviously he's a songwriter like Tom and sort of that. I think he got the song straight away, where I suppose the others in the band probably didn't get it as much at the time. Do you know what I mean? Even though we can definitely relate to it, but I think Jay definitely sort of...
That's why it's paramount to not like marry yourself to a demo.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because there's parts of the demo which are cool, and we buzzed off it at the time.
Oh, there's a great fill at the beginning. That's it. That's gone.
That's a bit of organ from you.
You get to have a breather if you get. Will you be playing this live?
We'll play it at like the album launch show at like the Plaza and stuff. But every night, you know, we have to see how well it goes down. My Favourite Room's just so massive in it, so it's kind of like
and it's a good live song. But we've done it a few times with them songs where it's just Tom sort of playing acoustically.
Yeah, like EPs and stuff, we've always kind of done it.
Because they are so like really nice songs and nice songs to listen to, it's sort of nice to hold them back and do them every now and then where people go, oh my God, like even on Twitter, you know, people like across the world are like, I can't believe you played that tonight. And not to annoy the fans, but do you know what I mean? It's quite nice when you read that sort of thing. And it's like, oh, I've been there loads with bands. Do you know what I mean? When you're like, I love this song and they never play it live. Why? Do you know what I mean? There's always like but then when you actually finally do hear it, it's like, oh God, like you love it and you're taking every moment of it. So I think it's good to sort of hold one song, at least one, back where you do sort of play it at very special moments. And I think that'll definitely be that.
Yeah, and I do really like do really like that song.
Yeah.
And the lyrics and stuff like
100%.
Like the Call Your Mother line. Just think it's quite so normal.
Oh yeah, Tom.
It's real, isn't it? It's sincere.
You do call you like, oh, it's just pissing down today, isn't it? Raining, you know, the conversations you have in it. Is it snowing? It's snowing in Belgium.
So Falling for Someone has a nice kind of pulse to it. It kind of builds and builds in a kind of hypnotic way.
Yeah.
And what else is going on here? You're falling for someone again.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm in love. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's probably the most less like trying to get something clever or a bit, you know, spin it in a different kind of way. That is more just, you know,
direct.
That is like direct. Which was, I can't remember what I was listening to when I wrote that one. I remember, that was the first song I wrote in the new back room.
Oh, here we go.
And I started it on the Roland Juno 60, and we just like painted like the walls and stuff, and we didn't have any keyboard stands or anything, and I just plugged the keyboard in on the floor, and I had the speakers plugged in. And this is like 11:30 at night, and we're like literally about to go to bed, and I sat down, no word of lines, went doom 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 boo doo boo, and just wrote like the opening line. That was like the first attempt in the new room, so I remember thinking like,
This room's
this
special.
is good. You know, the first thing I've played in it is good. But I didn't, I sat on it for a bit and kind of...
Wait there, didn't you paint that room?
No, I didn't paint it.
I was going to say, if you painted it, that'll be it now. You'd be like, no. You have to paint every room.
No, I've got to give it
But I'm imagining a sense, so you can smell fresh paint while you're
probably
playing with a keyboard which is on the floor.
Yeah, it was on the floor.
In an uncomfortable position.
Possibly, yeah. And then I sat on it for a bit and...
Not the keyboard.
I just sat on the keyboard for a bit. No, I sat on the song for a bit and kind of, wondered which way I could take it. And then I remember the Falling for Someone melody and line come to me when I was walking the dog on the field. Just like in between, probably writing a bit of the tune at home and then not really getting anywhere, then going on.
So is it about the dog, George?
Possibly. Maybe that's what it is.
Do you know what, that's true, because you didn't like dogs and now you love dogs.
If you want to take it as
I'm taking it as you love George.
But I remember when we demoed it, we put the guitars on it and it was quite like them crashing guitars at the start, and it's kind of, what's the word? It's a bit like the Who or something in a way.
That's another new tool we got, was the baritone guitar. We decided to get one of those, which is again something we'd never used before, and you kind of unlock a different frequency in a song that the baritone serves a very specific purpose. Yeah, you always hear it in like country and western kind of music, and it cuts through like it's really satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to feed Tom's non-existent ego here and say that this is one of my favourite middle eights he's ever written.
That's good, isn't it?
Me and my dad agree on this. He's like the king of the middle eight.
King of the middle eight, yeah.
And I think it'll go down really well live, because it's one of those like,
Yeah, we've never really done a no. I'm not really. I've always tried to shy away from an or something.
It's actually an ooh now.
No, I'm talking about the falling.
Oh right, I thought it was about the middle eight bit.
No, the actual chorus. It's a proper crowd. Yeah, I can imagine people singing along to it, and
I think
just
this
before
is going to be another sing along.
Yeah, the set's getting towards the end of the set, and people have that kind of moment.
We had many discussion about this song when we were picking a set list, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so good, but will people sing it? Or what about this song and this song? Do you know what I mean? It's like a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, that song is definitely
It can be great.
I think it'll be a big one live. It's just euphoric, isn't it? And it's like you said, the ending sort of crescendos, the whole song's like
it's constantly getting bigger.
Yeah. No, it's because I've been listening to the album a few times, obviously, before coming in to talk to you, and it's one of those things where when you're listening to the individual songs, and when one is still kind of haunting you, as you're moving on to the next one, you know that people are going to be really latching onto that.
Yeah, I really like Falling for Someone.
Yeah. Would you say that's your favourite?
Scroll on me.
I don't know whether I have a favourite yet. No, I think I like the whole feel of the whole album.
That's
really.
Good. No. I think that's the one thing that we're really proud of this album. It really does feel like a whole album.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever,
feels like a moment in time.
Yeah, not that we've not tried to do that before. It's just never really been thought about so much. Because like I say, the first album was done, and Blow was done, we rehearsed that years and years ago before that. And then the second one was just very much like, in the studio, right, let's do this song. And but this one, like Tom said, it's so much time to do it. I think we really did sort of nail not to be big-headed, but I think we really did nail the whole, as a sound, this album is like.
But also with that idea that, if you had 25 to choose from and you pick the 10 that work together, then they have, they sit really well beside each other.
Yeah, and I think that's
my dad loves this one.
Does he? Yeah. That's where the testament to Jay and Rich comes in. Do you know what I mean? They've really helped us on with that, making it all sound. That's what that's why they've been amazing on it in this album, is sort of doing that.
And then Like Gravity is the last song.
Yeah.
I guess this could be the title track, kind of, in that this is where you mentioned Foolish Loving Spaces.
It was,
It was that song was originally called Foolish Loving Spaces, and again, I got that from something I was reading. I can't remember exactly what it was. I just took it down and thought...
You need to write down all your references,
No, it's good because
people will be writing dissertations on these songs in the future. They need that source material highlighted.
I know it. Tom's just, he didn't want lazy people to find it. He's trying to get the people who are passionate to go in there and find it.
No, I googled it because I was like, where have I got it from? And then something else comes up with it, and I was like, that's not where I got it from. So I must have got it from someone else who got it from that.
Right.
From years and years ago.
Yeah.
So I just liked it as a phrase. Looks good written down. It kind of encapsulates all of what the album is singing about. Like, you are foolish when you're in love, you're foolish when you're out of love. It's like the spaces are the places it takes place in. It seemed right. Then I wrote the song and I had the lyric in the song, but I didn't want to do a self-titled kind of album song.
Like a Cool Like You.
Yeah, like Cool Like You. So I wanted it to be different. So then I was like, I suggested we call the album Foolish Loving Spaces instead of, well, we didn't have any other ideas. So I said, what about that as the album title? Then everyone was like, oh yeah, I like it. So then we changed the name of the song to Like Gravity, which is another lyric in the song. And that's again another, is a love song, but it's a bit more shrouded and a bit more mystery and kind of trying to be a bit more clever with it. And
we love them. We love them songs as well. We have one in each album really, it sort of tails off at the end and goes on a bit of a...
Well, this does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and this gives us a window into a parallel Blossoms world where you allow yourself to kind of drift off and maybe take up that King Gizzard mantle more and say, because you stretch out on this. This is like 5.5 minutes long.
I know, yeah.
And the title shows we're really down to earth.
Cheers, man. That was so bad.
I got a laugh out of John.
I thought it was good.
But no, I think.
But I like it. Kind of goes all psyche and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we like doing that sort of that. Even with old demos that we've done, we used to always throw a song like that in. Because we don't shy away from it. Do you know what I mean? We used to really like that sort of music, and so it's nice that we can still hint at it.
I think there is a parallel world where Blossoms are a psych band. Because you've got the look, you've got that sorted. You could be in King Gizzard if you wanted to be.
I feel like a lot of people must be confused when they look at us, like the way we dress and that, and the way we sort of make music. Do you know what I mean? It's all about love and very pop. Do you know what I mean? I think most people are like, what this band, like, where do they fit?
I like that.
I think we like it.
Confounding expectations.
Yeah.
No.
We say it today, and we're on Soccer AM. We all three, me, Tom, and Charlie scored volleys top corner. So people really must be like,
so you've got real skills.
What's going on with this?
All around
You've got other talents.
Yeah, someone tweeted us saying like they dress like my nana, but they can bang a goal in. I found it really brilliant.
This song is probably the one that changed most from the demo as well. It was kind of the demo was more like all of like the chorus part of this song. It was like that throughout. It was all like major and all kind of driving. And James Kelly was the one who suggested, he was like, why don't you do something different on the verse, try and make it a bit darker. And I changed the chords to like minor. And just something as simple as that changed the whole vibe of the song then.
Completely, yeah.
And we brought the song in with like the bongos and the groove and the bass. And we had to, Charlie had to like change, everyone had to like change a bit of the parts there and then in the studio, which was like the only time that had to happen on this record. But by that point, we felt like we had the singles covered and stuff like that. It was kind of like we did have the opportunity to, just go a bit looser with it.
What you say, Josh? James played the tape delay.
Yeah, so if you hear kind of from the outro,
Tom's voice,
there's a crescendo of this weird like ethereal noise, and there's Tom's doing these wailing things, and then the guitar. I was just playing through through all these effects, and James was literally he was cross-legged on the floor on this like old tape delay thing, this like echo unit thing, and he was just twisting the knobs, but he was like I always remember because I was just playing and looking at him. It was amazing. He was making the shape of the sound with his mouth, and just twisting. And then at the end, he just tailed it because you hear it slow down at the end, and like he just tailed it over. And he just sort of looked up and went, "Yeah, all right." And then went and ate some soup.
Whilst that was happening, Rich was doing the vocal thing, wasn't he? Where
we did the 10cc thing where you kind of assign faders on desk with you'll do like a vocal track per fader, and you can play it like a keyboard almost by bringing the faders up and down.
So all those voices that we hear,
that's like me and Charlie and stuff.
You're using the desk as an instrument in a way.
Yeah, and
just but Rich is playing them
playing it, literally like a keyboard on the faders.
And Jay was sat on the floor cross-legged with
the sandwiches
knobs, and we're just at the back going, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, this sounds amazing.
I went, did you? I think it must have took a while to get the vocals or something. I remember just being like, my head's banging.
Yeah, fried. Yeah, go for a walk.
I'm going to get some soup or something. Or
I remember
I remember coming in and that being done. I was like, well, when did that happen?
Where's this gone?
Yeah.
Tom goes away. We go all psych again.
Suddenly it's a triple album concept.
I was like, this is great.
But it could have been a triple album, is what you were suggesting earlier on. And the exciting news is that, we're about to play Like Gravity. It's the last song on the new album from Blossoms. However, you have said that there's another 15 songs already out there, and you've already started working on some of them for a possible
2.
So
there's almost 2 in the can, as they say.
Wow, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Which is, you kind of, it's your own worst enemy sometimes, because we're coming here talking about this new record, and we're kind of, in a way, doing in our heads, we're in the car, we're not playing this record, we're playing this new song. So you're like, come on, focus on this album and, you know.
But then when you've got the tour, February and March, I mean, you'll be touring non-stop, you'll be playing all these new songs as well and getting really excited about that and finding new favourites that you're excited to play for the next night.
Definitely.
So, you know, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all. So we're in we're in the best position we could be in. Yeah. Very healthy, and it's it feels great to be in Blossoms.
Yeah, you all seem so relaxed and at ease. It's all fantastic. No,
just the number one
exhaustion.
Yeah, so we all need to go and buy the album.
Yes, everyone needs to go and buy the album.
Make sure it stays at the top spot,
please,
because that's the least you deserve.
I know. Someone out One Direction doesn't need another trophy, does he? Surely.
Here come the Twitter attacks.
I know that'll be printed now, and then that's
that's it.
Oh, what? Rival.
Editors, please cut that out.
That's messed it all up now.
We can adjust this.
Yeah.
Nice lad.
So brilliant to see you all again. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
I'm going to play Like Gravity now, and see you soon, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent, with a new album.
Future, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio X.